Hello there everyone, and welcome back to Empire Total War 2 with this Scottish campaign. The year is the winter of 1766. All moves have been made, and it's time to end turn. Right, so we're back after the end turn. We've got a lot of units recruited. We've got some raids here and there, constructions. Should be safe now to build that up. Tripolitania, fine. Tunis, will increase that. I've got plenty enough cash to go ahead and build up everything. That one is probably not safe though. And then we got Church here to quickly turn the population Celtic, which is already going quite well. No, Finlay MacGregor, I was just talking about him last episode and now he's like 95 years old. He just died, so we're gonna appoint a new general. Moray Randall. He's 87. Couldn't we find someone that isn't on... He's gonna die right away. So the French are slowly heading this way up through here. We have recruited some troops here. I figure I need to recruit even more to protect this. And it might be good to have at least one cavalry unit here. The French have marched a force out of here, which annoys me. Means that I will lose this area, and it's going to take a while to retake that. Luckily for me though, this was turned into a governor's palace, so they won't have like a major recruiting base there. Unlike what they've got here. So even though it's bad that I lose it, it's not actually all that bad. If we head over to North America, no major moves were made by the enemy to gain more ground against me. Now they've consolidated the force and moved closer to New York, and I kind of want to hit this force first if there is to be a battle there. So I want to reroute all the forces to go here. I'm still kind of waiting for cannons around Philadelphia, and they are gathering up quite the force. So I don't know at what strength all of these troops are, but it's not looking good to again have this major I can actually infiltrate this at 95% chance. So I'll get to see the numbers here. They are slightly broken. I can't see what units are broken though, because most of these are kind of a full strength. And the fact that they've got so much artillery is worrisome. And then they've got, I think, even a little bit more artillery down here. Not entirely sure where they're able to recruit these artillery pieces. Ah, there's an artillery committee. Now, wait, did I bring this force right here? I was about to bring that onto a ship. I am recruiting more ships. I need to send this though right away. So the force onto the ship, they can go after that artillery committee, and this ship is able to travel across in one go. Now it opens up for my main trade port, which now receives 100,000 in the amount of trade that goes in there. 100,000, kind of a lot. I also moved one ship down here to raid the coasts. Right, but let's go back to North America. So once he enters here, actually he might... Newfoundland is actually not that important. So he should instead move to take out their ability to recruit more cannons. That is more important. To strike here, and also opening up a new frontier will divide the enemy further. Today though, I'm not thinking about focusing on what's going on in North America. Instead, what I want to do, or Russia for that matter, because I think we're going to play it defensive there for now, until I'm able to move this army under Finlay MacGregor, or it's not Finlay MacGregor anymore. It's 16 minus if I try to move them right now, so they would revolt. Perhaps not that bad. It might be actually better to have... If they revolt now, it'll turn into just a rebel state. And it wouldn't actually be all that bad if they did. And it's better if I can close out this, so I don't have to focus on this front at all. So I think we'll go... Oh, I can actually move this one forward, and this one could take up the defense. And I could move up the stronger force there. That's actually genius. Great. So that's solved. What I want to focus on now is actually the rest of Italy. So... Didn't I have a spy here? Did he die? What happened? My troops are now aligned, I feel like, to actually strike against the rest of northern Italy here. So this army would finally move. I have been recruiting troops, Austrian troops, that are gonna march up and take part and hold Venice as I leave that now. So this English-Welsh army is going to move forward, and they're going to strike at Milan, where we got 4,000 defenders. They're going to be reinforced from Genoa by 1,200 men. However, I've got a second army under Ross Adelton, and he is going to march up and lay siege to Genoa. And then we have our third army, which is the army here, which I'm going to go into the port here, Porto Maurizio, and then we're gonna leave off Henry Raid's army. We're gonna have to deploy it twice here. Is this the named one? I believe it is. This one is the named army. James Graham's own Irish Freedom Fighters, yes. This is the named army, which now comes ashore, and the named army will then strike at Turin. So Turin is... That's a clear auto-resolve, I'd say. There's only about 2,000 men here against 7,000 of ours. So that's an auto-resolve. We lost 1,100 men, but we took the city and killed everyone. And with that, Turin falls. Gonna go ahead and repair everything there, and everything should be fine. The French have been holding on to Turin for forever. They have a university here, yes, that we need to tear down, because the unhappiness is just massive here. Right, so the first city falls, then Genoa. Here it's even worse for the enemy, because here 2 armies take to the field. I could demand surrender, and I'm pretty sure they would accept it, but I want complete control, so I'm gonna attack. We lose 840 men, the enemy lose their entire force, and Ross Adelton takes control of Genoa. We're gonna go ahead and repair everything here in Genoa as well. And another university that needs to be burnt down. Unhappiness skyrockets in this region. And yes, before we go ahead and do the last, the Austrian troops need to start marching in to make sure we can hold on to Venice. And then the last one here is the fight for Milan. However, again, the enemy has 4,000 men. I have 14,000 men. I outnumber them by 10,000 men. I don't see the point of fighting the battle. So again, I'm gonna out-resolve. We lost 1,700 men. They lost 4,000. The enemy's entire force is destroyed. And I secured Lombardy and the city of Milan. Milan is actually not unhappy with me taking control of it. It seems that it's easier for me to control Spanish holdings, more so than it is to hold on to French ones, or the ones that have been influenced by the French. We gain some points there for different commanders. But look at that. Now all of Italy, basically without Corsica, now belongs to me. And in terms of the French forces, they're nowhere to be seen here, basically. Unless you go all the way up to France and Paris. So that is now secure, and this campaign has been very successful, I must say. We have a little bit of unhappiness here in Rome. It's been heavily influenced by the French, and the force there is not yet strong enough. We got 10 Roman line infantry, 1 24-pounder, and then 3 3-pounder guns situated around there. I thought perhaps there'd be a proper battle here, but as it didn't turn out to become a battle. We'll just continue on as it were, right? The spy will go ahead and cross here. Keep an eye on what the French are planning on this side. I have a spy in Paris, so hopefully at one point he'll gain full access and will get full access to the information of the entire region. With that said then, I will be focusing then back on North America because the campaign in Italy was so successful. So really what I want to strike is at around New York. However, the thing about striking around New York is that we kinda leave Philadelphia at the mercy of the enemy. And I think what I'll do is I'll march Finlay Kid, and he will bring cannons to support Philadelphia. And instead, Michael Brown will instead be ordered to come across the bridge down here. I'm just gonna set the Americans here to be ready to support him as he tries to make his way to cross and attack this army here under Rousseau. They will actually go and join the force, and then they will attack Rousseau from this bridge right here, leaving this area open, but I think that's fine for now. Oh yes, I brought this force, which I thought would be enough to attack this area. Yes, sir. And we put a commander in charge. Findlay Park will take his force, put it on the ships, and there's been a couple of episodes where nothing happens, and all of a sudden it's like someone put something, you know, the plug down the drain is perhaps not a great analogy, but you get what I'm saying. All of a sudden it comes loose and everything just unravels here. I would have liked to be able to go directly into port there, but we're gonna have to land the troops like we did the spy. I don't know why the game likes to stutter around Newfoundland. Some form of witchcraft is going on here. Right, so we've landed the force there. We'll head back to port to protect ourselves.
Your Majesty,
they will combine either way,
are yours.
but I could try and sabotage the army here, which fails. He constantly fails. They never succeed, unfortunately. He had a 60% chance of doing that. He still failed, the bastard. Right. Do I have any more moves to make? I don't think so. So we gained 3 territories. We're about to lose 1. But overall, I'm confident in our situation. And briskly, we shall advance against the enemy. One thing that is going to be important here is I usually neglect keeping up the recruitment of troops. So we just gotta keep at it to get more and more troops here. This army for now I figure we'll hold there, because if I move it across, it would be an attack here, attacking this force. I have a lot of artillery. I could smash this force here, but I figure... You know what, let's do it. We'll smash this force here. What I'll do is I'll do it in a way that it won't take up a lot of time of this episode, hopefully. So we have a smaller force under Dallas Patterson of 4,300 men against 6,000 French. Mostly it's generals though, fat bastards. And I have enough artillery and explosives to blow them sky high. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and conduct a battle that is going to be inspired by, what's he called? I was laying up for a joke here about, what's he called? The Michael Bay. He's the one that explodes everything. Right. A battle conducted by Michael Bay and his artillery orchestra. And there the battle is off. I've put the Scotsmen in the center, Scottish Grenadiers on the right, Colonials are defending the village. I'm putting my 12-pounders in the center of the line. They're gonna be set up with canister, ready to blast the enemy. My howitzers are already blasting the enemy line. And yes, and then we have 2 regiments of cavalry bringing up the right side there. Now when I look at it, these Scottish regiments should slightly retire because they might face canister shots. So I'm gonna slightly move them like this before this unit right ahead of us was slaughtered by canister. We're expecting an attack on this side by the enemy cavalry anytime soon. Rather than move into square, I'm gonna hold them in line. You know what, we might as well start to fire. Trying to micromanage that usually doesn't go too well. I'll form these guys into square though. As long as they stay off my bloody cannons, I'm happy. Also, it might be good here to specifically tell the cannons where to fire at this point, just to try and avoid friendly fire here. Fine, it looks fine so far. Also, yes, as the enemy now comes closer, it might be very useful. Oh, look at that. Both units will charge the tribal auxiliary, and hopefully we'll send him off. It might be good here to order the howitzers to target specific areas. I think the enemy cavalry just rode through their own auxiliaries here and kind of broke up their charge. These 2 regiments are so confident they've decided to move forward compared to the rest of them. Grenadiers have nothing to do right now, so I'm going to order them further forward. I'm noticing the battle here is not going my way, really. So 1 unit's already forced away. There's a heavy concentration of enemies here, and I do think I've ordered some of the howitzers to target these guys, which might be too close to fire, so I'm gonna extend that. We're gonna have the other 5 units of howitzers target this regiment right here, and both units of canister will be fired this way. You can turn that way actually, and you can drop your square just as the cavalry actually turns up. Perhaps I'll order you to fire deeper in among the enemies here. Don't tell me that these 2... Oh, that one idiot riding in broke up the entire formation here of this. Heavy fighting around here. The enemy is coming rather close. It's becoming very dangerous to fire the howitzers that close. So I'm gonna target units further away. The grenadiers are gonna fall back. I thought ordering that to shoot at that unit was gonna help. Clearly it didn't. This side is now gonna swing up while the grenadiers gonna set a line here. And there goes my other regiment. The tribal auxiliaries are overpowered as shit. Can I get canister heading this way? Oh, now of course the enemy general decides he wants to screw with my line as well. Heavy concentration of enemy infantry here, but my colonials and this extension of Scottish troops are holding just fine. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to target specifically this area. There's a lot of troops in this area. Oh, so not only are you going to send away 2 of my regiments of cavalry, you intend to also crush a unit of grenadiers. This unit's not happy because he was fighting those invincible Native Americans. Heavy melee fighting right here, where my Americans are fighting my colonial troops. Drop the square. You know what? I figure we've got enough to try and force these guys away. I wouldn't want to charge into the area where I've ordered the howitzers to fire though. And the canister. Have you guys reset on the cannons? No, you have not. Okay, so the 2 grenadier units are back. I'm hoping here the cavalry attack will be enough. The heavy cavalry should actually head this way now to join in, fight over there. And then the howitzers can target the enemy as they're retreating. You have to join in over there, and you have to join in over there. And you can come back. And I think for the cannons, it's time for you to hold fire. Oh, we do have more enemies turning up. There's some reinforcements sighted far out there. So I want some fire going that way. Alright, the cavalry seem to have successfully broken that unit, which means that I can bring in 3 units to flank the enemy's lights. However, my cavalry is not going to hold for long. With that though, the battle is won, and even though the enemy might be able to inflict some more damage on me, it's not going to be nearly enough here to send me and my army away. Right, so the cavalry actually continued into those troops right there. What I'll do is I'll get these 3 facing that way, and then you will move like this in reserve. Heavy cavalry will go for the hill, and how about the grenadiers finish this off with a charge. Right, that one was sent off. This one's going to meet 3 regiments, so they will be crushed. What I'll do is I'll focus in a lot of the fire on that unit right there, and then you can just continue firing towards the French defensive line far out there. Right, the light infantry was seen off. Grenadiers can now retire. Heavy cavalry will swing up into a position, sweep down, and we are victorious. And with that, and hopefully without too much casualties on our side, I have now won this battle. And here's the results of that battle. We deployed 4,300 men against 6,300 men. We lost 1,000 men during the battle, while the enemy lost close to 5,000 men. We have a force remaining of 3,300, while the enemy has 1,300 men in their force. We killed about 100 of our own, according to this, which is pretty light compared to the amount of cannon fire I fired. Highest killers actually goes to Scottish Line Infantry. Surprise, surprise. Artillery does not end up until 3rd place. Strange tidings. As far as I can tell, no unit was destroyed, and that's good, because no unit was really seen off, was there? Besides perhaps the cavalry and the grenadiers, but only these units left the field entirely. Actually, quite a lot of units, individual units that survived out of that army. I will go ahead and replenish. Even though this seems like there's a lot here, a lot of it is just surviving units from the previous battle. And nothing really threatens me here right now. So what I will go ahead and do is I will go ahead and end turn. I'll expect to lose that one territory in Russia. But besides that, perhaps opening for a counterattack here, as I am standing on the bridge, would be able to defend the bridge against the superior French force. Anyways, with that, let's go ahead and end turn. See what our enemies come up with. Okay, so I did a little thing. I noticed that the entire force that was attacking up here in Russia was entirely made out of cavalry. So when I noticed that I have a militia unit that can hide in a house, yes, let's just say I ended up winning the battle. They ended up losing more than half of their force, 1,000 men lost, 566 remaining after the battle. The militia get awarded 945 kills, while the mortars got about 30 kills each. I don't think he killed. There's no way he killed 945, because the accuracy is shit and they fire out of the house and so on. There's no way he killed that many. But yeah, I managed to win the fight. Fair and square. And that was the only counterattack the enemy came up with. They raided Harrisburg. Successful. Now I can see all of France. Now we can see the troops that they have. They don't actually have that much in terms of troops here. A lot of the main forces here are Spanish. One thing that I didn't mention at the end of last episode is because of the unhappiness due to war weariness and the clamor for reform. They actually had the French had a revolution, and that's why you can see broken down troops up here are not troops that were forced away due to what's it called? They are not forced away due to the fighting in Italy. They are troops that have fought the revolution around Paris. Right, so it's gonna take a while to pacify these regions. Well, I'm gonna be building some schools around here, and I'm gonna train them to be good kilt-wearing people. And they wear it the Italian style, pizza style, or I don't know, pizza style. Yes, that's what we're gonna teach them. Lots of troops being recruited, more cavalry in central Italy. Fleet arrives, that's good. We have some stuff being built, so the trade port here. This being built up to make it easier to hold New France. We have another port here. Workshops all around. That's done. Harrisburg, we saw that. Ross Richmond is a good listener. He's listening here. And there is where I'm planning on striking with the force that just arrived. They do not reach the entire way, so we'll have to make a pit stop somewhere. So we'll stop right here in Plymouth. At Plymouth Rock. there is where I'll land. And then we'll go on to snipe them out from the back. Meanwhile, this force will take up position in front of the town.
Anything more?
And it will receive a number of these American troops. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 units. And then the force here is going to get its cannons next turn, which is good. God damn it, the French decided to switch side. They split their forces and they switched side. Okay. But I'll be able to attack New York and take that, because now they're more likely defended. Problem here is the force that the French had here is now marching more or less at full speed towards Upper Canada, and I do not have much to defend Upper Canada. Can I can take the entire garrison out of this force and move them down here. We'll put a general in charge, Ian Heyman. I was gonna say Heineman, like the Mythbuster guy, but Heyman. I guess it's fine then that they go ahead and go up here and fight. I would try and recruit some extra troops for the defense of the town. I imagine that I'm only gonna get like one turn to get extra troops for this garrison. So we're gonna boost it with the troops that are available. So a lot of natives will come to our aid against the enemy. Alright, so that's set. We'll attack there. That's set. This force, boom, there. And now we have our forces here.
Yes.
So we'll lay siege. So we have 3,000 men. They have 1,700. The advantage they have is they have one mortar and 2 units of cavalry. But that should be easy enough to complete. And if I go out into the wilderness in Russia, then I am gaining ground on the French, and they will conduct their attack on this area right here. I have lots of cavalry, they have lots of cavalry. I am less sure that I'll be able to hold this. Given though the situation here, they can continue to attack here. It looks like I'm not gonna be able to lose this just because they decided to pack their force entirely with cavalry. So that's good. Right, I do think that I'm gonna end the episode right here. But everything seems to be going really well right now. And we are set to win this. We got the Polish force marching in here as well. That could take over the garrisoning of some areas. Hopefully we'll be turning all of this pretty darn soon. And then also here building an Italian army. And hopefully the my Arab army or my Middle Eastern army should be able to move out as well soon enough. So next step here in terms of the campaign, since I just conquered all of Italy, would be to switch focus and start moving in and dealing with Central Europe. So we would go for the German states, kick the Spanish out of Flanders, and take Strasbourg before we go ahead and strike towards Paris. Because as soon as I strike and take out all the French holdings in Europe, all their colonial holdings will turn into rebel force. So that could be a thing once the main resistance here has subsided, and rather than me running out all the way and capturing every single little area, they might go ahead and just break up from the fact that the central power back in Paris collapses. Which it might anyways if they keep having revolutions. They are still an absolute monarch under Philip the 7th. He's morally impaired, he's got pet hermit. Morally impaired, he's kinda similar to my king in that sense. It's like one of my longest reigning kings at this point is Charles III, and he's absolutely shit at ruling, sort of. Morally impaired and lewd. He's very... he's a gooner, basically, we can say. Is that... Now I get... I've seen on my... what's it called? Statistics for the channel. Most of the viewers are actually 25 to 35 or something like that. So I perhaps don't actually have that many Gen Zers watching this. They've got so many like elite troops and stuff in the capital. But yeah, it's gonna be one hell of a fight once we try and take Paris. Unless Paris, of course, falls to rebels. I'm sure war awareness will increase when they just lost another 2 settlements and then had a pretty devastating defeat here in terms of the fact that they outnumbered the garrison so heavily, yet they were unable to break us. And here we see an exodus of all the French thinkers leaving Italy to head back to Paris. So one of the good things about kicking the French out of Italy is we've completely reduced their amount of gain of technology. Now they are already so far ahead of me that, you know, the war will be over before we gain the same kind of footing on them. We have the cotton gin, and we this kind of racist. The only thing we have that they don't have is the cotton gin. They have abolished slavery already. Yeah, the racists are winning. The Scottish racists. I am working though. It takes a very long time to us to figure out that slavery is wrong. It's 36 turns left. Then, for sure, we will know whether or not slavery is good or bad. With that said, it's high time to end this episode. So, hopefully you guys enjoy this, and hopefully I'll see you guys for the next one. Bye!